Hi YouTube, it's Janelle here. In this video, I want to share something so exciting with everybody who's been following my journey here on YouTube. I really quickly want to remind you all though, first to check out my Facebook and my Instagram and go like and add and follow and all that good stuff. I really like to connect with people from here on YouTube over on other social media platforms. So go check me out. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click the red subscribe button right now. I'm gonna jump right into the video because this is a short and sweet one today. I just really wanted to let everybody know about this exciting opportunity that I had to partner with a company called Jopwell and create a post for their blog called The Well. Now the reason why I think this is really exciting is because the mission and the work that Jopwell does is so amazing and so necessary. For those of you who are not familiar with Jopwell, what they do is they provide opportunities to connect students and young professionals of color to companies that are looking to diversify their workforce. So really connecting people who are looking for jobs and that have the skill set to do those jobs successfully to the companies that are actually looking to fill those positions and have those job offers. So this is really awesome and remarkable work, and I was really excited when I came across them because of the fact that I really felt like I wish I had something like that when I was coming up, when I was in school, and also when I was looking for work. So definitely want you all to go check out Jopwell, support them, like them, add them, follow them, all of that good stuff. But jumping into what exactly I was able to do with them, I was able to write a blog post for The Well, which I'm going to link in the description box below, and I'm also going to put a little bit of a preview here for y'all to see. And I want to say, like, this was actually really hard for me. Like, when they reached out to me about this opportunity, I was really excited about it, but at the same time I was nervous about being so personal. On my YouTube channel, everybody who comes to support me here and to follow the journey knows that I sometimes will talk a little bit about like my background and like who I am, where I grew up and all that stuff. But there's certain things that, like, growing up, you just don't, you didn't tell everybody. You don't talk about these things. Some things related to money are really a taboo, and I'm gonna post a future video about that, about how I feel about that, because I think that's actually one of the biggest reasons why there's such a problem with financial literacy in this country and around the world, is because money can be considered to be such a taboo in a lot of different cultures. And once we break that taboo, once we come out of that shell, then that's when people are really able to start talking more and get the resources and the tools that they need to succeed when it comes to their money. So I'm really excited to have been able to tell my story on this post. I talked a lot about something really personal to me, which is how I grew up and the struggles that I had. My family, my parents immigrated here, so I was part of an immigrant family. I was also in a low-income household, in a very, high-need area. So, like, a lot of people want to call it urban, inner city, under-resourced, whatever you want to call it. Like, it was the hood, okay? We grew up in a time where in Bushwick, in Brooklyn, was still very much the hood. It's changing a lot now. There's a lot of gentrification coming into Brooklyn. But when I was growing up, it was very scary to walk through Knickerbocker Park at night. You just didn't do it. Once it got dark outside, everybody was in the house. And so it was tough. It was tough. I have a lot of memories of my neighborhood that aren't necessarily super positive, but then again, at the same time, I have a lot of really positive memories of my neighborhood, things that I really liked about it, the vibrant community, the people, the way that everybody was always looking out for each other. So I have this kind of a dichotomy, like, I've experienced that's been split in like two parts, right? One part that is really positive and exciting and motivating and inspirational, and then this other part that's really hard to talk about, which was the struggle of it all. And a lot of people always want to show their successes and talk about, what they're doing, that they're accomplishing all these things that are doing really well, but they forget to mention the struggle that it took to get along the way, the mistakes that it took along the way to get to where they are. So that's why I really appreciate the opportunity to have told my story on this Jopwell post, because I talked a lot about my memories growing up on welfare and how tough it was, because you don't really talk about that stuff in your family. Everybody kind of knows that there's a struggle and that there's not always a lot of money, but you don't necessarily have conversations about what it means and how people can come together to kind of work through that, or what we can do to alleviate the situation, or how we can learn how to better our financial situation. Those things were not talked about. Like, you don't talk about that. Money is more of a point of embarrassment than anything else in the house when you really struggle to bring in the money that you need. So I feel like it's really important for people who grew up like that to kind of speak out and talk about it. That really helps people who are coming up through a struggle or through a similar experience or situation to kind of know, like, A, you are not alone. There's a lot of people out here struggling, a lot of people. And B, to not only be seen and be heard, or feel like you're seen and heard, and that someone else is experiencing the same thing as you, but also to know that there are resources out there and available, and that there is a way, there's a pathway, there's many different pathways of opportunity for you, and that it doesn't have to end the way that sometimes the media portrays it, or sometimes stereotypes kind of tell you that when you start your life this way, it's only going to end up a certain way, and that's not necessarily true. So really breaking stereotypes is important. Also allowing people to see themselves represented in stories that they're seeing in the media. That's why I think it's really, really important, the work that Jopwell is doing. And so in my blog post, I talk a lot about that. You should definitely go click the link in the description box and check out the blog post. It's like a 5 or 6 minute read. It's not that long, but it does talk about my experience, my memories, and kind of like how I got into a lot of that in the first place, and why I started my YouTube channel, why I started kind of documenting my journey, and also talked a lot about how I got out of the situation that I was in. How am I able to now not live paycheck to paycheck anymore, and actually be able to finance cool projects that I want to do for my channel, or kind of do different work that I might want to do. I was able to take some time off work when I really didn't enjoy my last job. I didn't have to worry about finding another job. I could just leave if I needed to, because I knew that I had an emergency fund saved up, which is something that is really rare in the way, that our society works. So all of those things are really important to kind of put out there and to share, especially with young adults who kind of feel like everything is a struggle. You don't have a lot of money if you're in college, or if you're coming from a family that doesn't have enough resources to support you. I think it is really important that we put these stories out there, and that's why, even though it was tough for me to tell kind of like my truth and put it out there on the internet for everyone to see, growing up on welfare is not something that everybody talks about, but if they did experience that, they generally don't necessarily like to share it. But for me, I felt like it was important to share it. So definitely want you to all go check out that story. And also, if you liked it, or if you enjoyed it, or if you have any other questions or comments, put them in the description box below, because this was a really kind of like me stepping out of my comfort zone kind of thing. And like, it was an adventure, a risk that I took. And I feel like I'm glad that I took it, but I definitely want to know what people think about the post. And if you have any questions or comments, definitely put them here, because I want to engage with people about what you think, your thoughts and your ideas around my story and how I shared it. And definitely go support Jopwell as well. I really love what they're doing. I think it's really important work. So the more people that can get involved and become aware of the movement, the better. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and click that red subscribe button right now. Definitely ask any questions that you might have for me personally to my Gmail, which is MissBeHelpful@gmail.com. And that's all I have for y'all. Till next time, peace.